Okay, we're live.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
What we do here is go back.
Can y'all hear
What?
me? Yeah, geez. That the song literally ended like right as we were going live. It like totally threw me off guard. Normally I have to like change the music and like change the song to turn it off right before we go live, but it all just ended right at the right time. That totally threw me off. What's up, y'all? Welcome to a live chat with me and Jessi. Steven Jensen here, Jessi Davin joining me in audio form. We got AEW Rampage to talk about today. And we're going to give away some Wrestle Rumble entries for the belt pick'em, not belt pick'em, the belt giveaway that they're doing, the raffle over at WrestleRumble.com. I'll get that pulled up here in a second for y'all. But before we get started, also part of what's kind of throwing me off here is I want to talk about somebody we lost this week, a friend of the show. Brad Peterson, or Pedersen, I think is technically probably the right pronunciation. Brad is a guy who came on and did our podcast while Jessi was on maternity leave. I'm having a hard time saying this. Like this was a totally unexpected thing. Brad was a super nice guy. I talked to Matt over at WrestleRumble.com, who's the one who introduced me to Brad. We talked about it and stuff. I'm gonna keep y'all in the loop for anything that they have going on, like in like remembrance of him coming up or anything like that. We'll make sure to tell y'all on my social media, on the show, and all that stuff. So yeah, it was tough. Like it's just, it sucks to see. I had another buddy of mine pass away from a heart attack like 2 weeks ago at 34 years old, and then for Brad to pass away this week is just a real bummer. I really hate when this kind of stuff happens, but I wanted to obviously dedicate this show today to the memory of Brad Pedersen and just thank him for coming on the show. And he was a guy who he had hit me up quite a few times in direct messages in even recent months, just looking to try to get more involved. And I always told him, like, man, when something opens up, you're right there at the top of my list of people I want to do more stuff with. And it's just a shame that I really wish I would have been able to do more with him now, especially. So, rest in peace to Brad. And Jessi, if you'd like to say something, I know you knew him as well through the show.
Yeah, I mean, I was introduced to him through you. And obviously I was, in the live chat during that stream. And he was such a sweet guy. And for him to do that was such a great thing. And he was so kind and courteous in private messaging and everything. And just a really great guy. And I feel for his wife, and I pray for his family. And I pray for you as well, because I know that you're going through a lot of loss right now. And I know this is really hard. So I just want you to know we're thinking of you, and we love you, and we care about you. And I know it's hard. But, yeah, Brad was a great guy. And it's definitely one of those things where, it takes you back and makes you reflect on your own life as well. But, yeah, hug your loved ones. Tell people you love them. Life is short. And, Brad, you're going to be missed.
Yeah, for sure. Good dude. Huge wrestling fan. So, keep him in your thoughts and his family. Deshaun Turner with the super chat says, Rampage was great. NXT is dying. Sub Jess and Steven. Yeah, we'll talk about Rampage and NXT and all that stuff.
You did have another super chat earlier as well.
Oh, I don't want to miss that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deshaun. We really appreciate it. Welcome back to the stream.
Yes,
Thank you, Deshaun.
Matt Reichel. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how to pronounce
Reichel.
it.
I think it's Reichel.
Says, perfect episode of Rampage last night. Since I'll be in Philadelphia next weekend for Ring of Honor, I will not be able to watch Rampage live. Oh. Yeah.
I think IO, I'm assuming.
Oh, it's like O, like OH, like big OH.
IO.
Oh, I see. Yeah, dot, yeah, okay.
I think. I don't know. So.
I don't know either, but that would make sense for you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Matt, and thank you so much, Deshaun. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to talk a lot about Rampage today. We'll probably do about an hour-long show, give or take, y'all. Make sure to send the super chats in. We'll make sure, just like with the previous super chats, we'll read them out for you. If you have any predictions for any upcoming shows, you have any just thoughts on Rampage in general or anything else in wrestling that you want us to read out, this will go up on the audio feed tomorrow as well on the Fight Talk podcast. All those people will hear it too. And yeah, it's cool you get to go to Ring of Honor. I mean, the problem with Ring of Honor, Matt, is just the buzz that they like lack in the right now in like the grand scheme of things. But their actual in-ring wrestling product has been very, very good.
Oh, good.
So it'll be a fun live show to be at from that perspective of like seeing really good, really high level in-ring wrestling. But yeah, if I had to pick one or the other, I definitely, I mean, if CM Punk's debuting on Rampage, like I feel like everyone needs to be watching that. You know what I mean? So
Right?
But
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So throughout the show, let's see. When do they actually give these away? When is SummerSlam? Is that this weekend or next weekend? I don't even know.
It's next weekend. I think it's a week from Sunday.
Okay, so is it the 22nd? That makes sense if that was the same date. Oh, wait,
Oh,
this is
that's
the
my
SummerSlam con. Okay, so this is what's going on, y'all, with Wrestle Rumble. They don't have the SummerSlam Pick'em contest up yet, but that will be up soon. I'll give entries away for that next week on our show. We'll give away entries for their for the Pick'em contest next week. This week, though, I will give away. I would say we'll give away two entries into the Winged Eagle belt giveaway. There's going to be 2 winners, 6 belts. 3 of them are like the actual like full size replicas. 3 are mini replica belts. I have them up on the screen right now, and the entries are only $1. But it's something that we'll throw a couple bucks in for you guys. So
Yeah.
if you're on the show, if you do any kind of super chat, these are only dollar entries. We'll just say if you send any super chat of any amount, like we'll put your name in the hat. And basically at the end of the show, we'll pick 2 names, and yeah, those 2 names we'll get free entries into this because I mean, geez, for $1 y'all can get and by the way, join this even if you don't win from us. Like just join. It's only $1. You have 3 replica title belts. All of them are the Winged Eagle titles, but they have the different strap colors on them. Pretty awesome. I mean, that's like probably $300 to $400 a belt right there on the left. Yeah, for $1. And like I said, we'll give 2 of them away to y'all today. The way to get those, just in the chat, just say you want a shot at an entry. Just let us know in the chat, and then we'll give you 2 shots at it if you send us a super chat. How about that?
Okay. Let me open up pages.
Yes, thank you. And everybody thank Jessi, who always does a good job taking what do you call it? Keeping track of that kind of stuff, because I definitely don't do a good job of that. But yeah, I mean, awesome contest over Wrestle Rumble. But man, I'm looking forward to talking about this Rampage show.
Yes.
Let me know when you're ready if you got your stuff pulled up for the.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, right off the bat, right? Kenny Omega, Christian Cage, first match in Rampage history. We have, in my opinion, a great match, and a great match that, especially based on the outcome, which was Christian becoming the new Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Now I feel like they are for sure going to run this back at All Out, because at first I didn't know, what they were going to wind up doing with Christian, because I was like, are they going to just have him go back to back against Kenny? And I don't know if Kenny's going to lose on Rampage. How the hell are they going to do this? I think they did everything pretty perfect here, especially with the ending being the unprettier on the chair and everything. What do you think about this match, Jessi? And how do you feel about Christian not only winning the Impact title, but how do you feel about Kenny losing on national TV? Because we haven't seen that for over a year.
Yeah, first off, I love the concept of this show. I think an hour is perfect. I was talking about this with Will on RBR earlier today, that especially right now as a mom, my time is extremely valuable to me. And with school starting up and everything, and a 3-hour Raw is absolute torture to get through. And with Monday Night Football coming soon, it's going to be all right, you need to buy my time. You need to earn it. And right now, Raw's not doing that. SmackDown's doing okay. But this absolutely bought my time, especially at 10 o'clock. I'm busy and stuff. But, man, that hour flew by. It was perfect. This match, starting out, the first ever match on Rampage, was perfect. It was fun. It made sense. And someone on Twitter said this, and I wish I knew who, so I could give them credit. But they said sometimes the biggest swerve is that there is no swerve, because when the Young Bucks came out with that chair after Earl Hebner like had the longest distraction of the century, I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, man, people are gonna complain about this to high heavens. But then Christian Cage hits the kill switch onto the chair and ends up pinning Kenny Omega. I think it worked, and I think it honestly it needed to happen, because if you're gonna run Kenny Omega and Christian Cage at All Out after building up Hangman Page for so long, you need to make it worth my time, and you need to make me doubt and suspend my disbelief that Kenny's gonna absolutely win. And now that Christian Cage has both of the Impact title. And the TNA one, right? He's a TNA one too, but it's just technically the Impact title.
Yeah, it's weird how that's a long story. They recognized the TNA title as its own world title, and then they unified the two of them. Like,
Yeah.
Moose was carrying the TNA title for like a long time. No one was recognizing it as an actual championship. They wound up calling it an actual title again, and then within like a couple weeks they had unified it with it, but they kept the two belts. So,
But they kept the two belts just to
yeah.
keep the integrity of the TNA title.
I think it was so like, it looked more impressive when Kenny was carrying more belts.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah,
but
it was
awesome. Definitely a swerve. But I think for the first Rampage, you kind of needed that big moment, kind of like that, especially when you're gonna have Britt Baker retaining, which we'll talk about later. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun match. Kenny Omega's on Twitter, like, everyone's on notice. I'm ready to go off. There were a couple times in this match where I feared for, like, Kenny Omega's neck. Like, I think there was one point, I don't know if it was a suplex or a kill switch, when Christian Cage hit something and Kenny Omega looked like he really landed on his neck. And, like, afterwards you could see that Christian Cage was, like, cradling Kenny's neck. I was like, oh, Jesus. Like, it was really scary for me. But other than the extremely long ref distraction, which with Earl I will allow because he's the most easily distracted ref there is, it didn't even matter in the end because it ended up hurting Kenny Omega. So it was definitely shocking, but I didn't even think about how Kenny hadn't lost in so long. I enjoyed the match so much, and maybe that's the beauty of the match. But you're so right. I really enjoyed it. They really went. You could tell that they didn't give us everything because they have a match coming up in All Out. So I'm excited to see what else they can do. But yeah, this was definitely really fun.
Yeah, this was awesome. One thing I just need to bring up though, it's Brian Hebner, not Earl Hebner. That's the referee we need to be roasting. But both of them are referees.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
But yes, Earl much older. But
I'm in timeline.
Yes, but yes, it was a Hebner regardless.
The Hebner, yes.
The
homage to the Hebner.
The homage, it's vintage Hebner.
Yes, thank you for correcting me, so I don't look like a fucking idiot.
But no, the match this was done pretty perfectly. Like,
yeah,
and that's a big thing too. Is like now that Christian's beat Kenny, it's like okay, like we've seen it happen. It could definitely happen. Like you feel like it could happen again. Like, or at least you feel more like it could happen than if you would have saw Christian lose, on Rampage. It established a lot of things with this match. It established that Rampage is a must-watch show. Like, you could see championships change. You could see Kenny Omega lose for the first time in forever. You could see CM Punk for the first time in 8 years or whatever on AEW Rampage. Like, this is going to be a must-watch show for AEW, which that accomplished. And then also, I think now they're starting to show their hand a little bit in the story. I couldn't tell which way they were going to go with Kenny. I felt like there was two ways they were going to go. It was either going to be completely unbeatable until Hangman, and then Hangman was going to be the big one to get like that big win, or they were going to slowly start taking the belts off Kenny, and that's what I feel like they're going to do now, which I'm fine with all these scenarios, by the way. I don't care that it's like even predictable one way or another. Like, I just like the stories and I like the matches, so just keep making sense and just keep doing this if you're AEW.
Mm-hmm.
But like, because now he's lost the Impact title. He's wrestling Andrade at Triple Mania, which I think is this might be like tonight. It's either this weekend or next weekend. Triple Mania is soon. I'm watching New Japan Resurgence tonight, but Triple Mania's got to be soon. So he's wrestling Andrade for the AAA title or AAA title, depending on how good your Spanish is. And now I feel like he's gonna lose that title to Andrade, and then he'll be left with just the AEW title, and now he's gonna be like super mega paranoid version of Kenny Omega, because now he keeps losing these titles, and maybe a few months down the road, now it's like Hangman is the one that can like be the straw to break the camel's back. Like he's the one who can win that title from Kenny now, and the Triple Mania is tonight, says Sam. So a lot of people are mentioning. So it's tonight. I think that's gonna be free on like Facebook or YouTube or something. Yeah, like I think Triple Mania is usually free. It was on Twitch before, but I don't think it's on there anymore. Super chat from Corey. Thank you as always, Corey, for the super chat.
The legend, Corey.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, it was Corey's birthday. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Corey.
Yes, happy birthday, Corey. I'm going to give you... So one of those two entries, we're just going to give to Corey. We'll just do that for his birthday. He's done so much for the show. I mean, the least we can do is give him a free entry for that belt raffle. So, Corey, we're going to put your name on there for the Wrestle Rumble belt raffle. We're going to put your name in the hat for you, and you could possibly win these prizes you're seeing up on the screen. So, happy birthday, man. Thank you for always supporting the show. We always appreciate you.
Woohoo.
Yes. It sees Wave said Twitch, they believe. If anyone can confirm, I know I can just look it up, but
I think it's on Twitch.
Is it Twitch? Okay. Regardless, it should be free tonight, so y'all can watch. I'll probably watch that now that I remembered it was on. I completely forgot that was already. I'm so pumped up for Resurgence, which is also tonight on Fight TV, FITE, Fight TV. Check that show out too. But yeah, a lot of great wrestling all the time right now. So what else we got going on in this show? Look at all these people saying happy birthday to Corey.
Yes. Yay, Corey! It was on the 12th. So was that yesterday?
2 days ago, but
yeah.
This is the first podcast we've done since the.
Yay! Happy birthday to you.
Yes. If anyone has any cake emojis or anything like that you want to put
in the chat. Cake emojis in the chat for Corey.
Yeah, spam those happy birthday emojis.
Like even when you search food, it comes up as. Come on my desktop. Ah! Oh, there's pancake emoji.
Pancakes. Oh man, I forgot.
There's a tamale.
Okay.
Wow. Sorry,
I want pancakes now. She just said that.
Dude, I love pancakes.
I love pancakes too. I missed out on a free stack of pancakes the other week. T-Mobile was doing I was talking to you about it before the show. With T-Mobile Tuesdays. That's a good promotion they got going. Look at these nice people in the chat putting up all this stuff for Corey. There you go. Love seeing that. You know what else I love seeing? It was last night.
A wholesome moment.
Yes. So we had Fuego del Sol losing to Miro for the TNT Championship. Miro retains. Obviously, we all expected this to be the case, but Fuego hits a few tornado DDTs that make you think, like, oh my god, he might actually have a chance here. Like, they get you just enough. That it's
what I loved? Mm-hmm. I loved when Miro went to the outside and Fuego was like, ref, start counting.
Yes, he was willing to lose his shot at the TNT title, but he knew he'd get a contract out of it. So, it totally made sense. You know what I mean? I feel like there's other companies potentially that, they make the wrestler look stupid, and it'd be like, why is he trying to get the count out? He's not going to be able to win the title now if he wins by count out. This was yeah, he won't win the title, but, he's going to get a contract if he wins by count out. That's more valuable than just getting the title. So, yeah, everything just, there's logic involved. I mean, it just goes a really long way.
Insulted as a fan.
Exactly. And this match is exactly what it needed to be. It gave you like half a second where you're like, oh my god, Fuego might actually win this. And then the rest of it was all Miro, which is exactly what you want. With Miro looks... They have done more to make Miro look good in the last 3 months of AEW programming than his entire career combined up to this point. Like, this is the Miro that I feel like all the hype has been about. Like, I can get behind what I'm seeing with this version of Miro. Like, this is good stuff. And then Fuego, like you said, wholesome moment. Like, there's a good chance he himself didn't know that was going to happen for real. Like, based on how he's reacting.
I asked Will, and he said that they told him just to stand in the ring after the match, which I'm sure he kind of had an idea, but I don't think he knew fully. Which was really great because you could tell he was really touched by it.
Yeah.
It
really
was
great
great.
moment.
And you know what? I think a big theme of this show is people losing but still being able to get over and look good.
And the sad thing is, I mean, we're not gonna talk about we're not gonna talk about that other company like at all today. Yeah. But it seems so obvious because AEW is able to literally just do that. Like, they're going out, like you just said, there have been, when you lose on I think I heard Brian Alvarez and who was he talking? I always forget who he's talking to because I always get the shows mixed up because it's either like Vinny or Semper Vivi or like or Tom Lawler. It's always like change or Dave. Like, but I heard on one of his shows he was basically talking about, and I totally agreed. He's basically saying like in AEW, because you have faith in like the way they're booking things and what we've seen with other people already, like in their short history, like a Darby Allin being a good example. Like Darby lost to Cody, had a draw with Cody, beat Cody. But it was like spaced out over time. But even though he lost, it's like in AEW, it's like you win, lose a big one. Okay, but then you win, you might lose a big one. Win, might lose a big one. Win the big one. Now you're on the level with these guys and everyone believes it because you're only losing sometimes to like the top people. And then eventually the spot kind of opens for, now you're one of those top people and like all you got to do is have that one bigger win and you're in that group now. But in other companies you see it where it's like lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. And it's, and you get so used to seeing people lose that you just stop caring. So like, but AEW, Fuego is 1-40 or something like that in his record. And the fans were eating it up. Like, yes. and you still, even for half a second, thought like, oh my god, he might beat Miro. Like, after he hit him with 3 of those tornado DDTs and had him like on the outside of the ring, you're like,
the Kurt Hawkins of AEW, basically, a better version of it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and Fuego can clearly wrestle.
Yeah.
Like, it isn't like he's some like jobber looking dude either that like just sucks. Good. He just hasn't had good luck. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
right.
It's it's wild. They really AEW really has it figured out in my opinion when it comes to exactly what you said. Like you got like Jungle Boy, like it's the same thing. Win. Lost to Kenny Omega, like Kenny Omega, well. Yeah. Like, and the match was awesome, and it's like, damn, like, but you see it and you're like, you know what? But one day he will beat Kenny Omega. It might not be this year, it might not be next year, but it will happen one day, and they're gonna be referencing the past so that we don't feel stupid or like that. We'll be rewarded for watching the show. That's one other thing I want to bring up about AEW when it comes to this, because I hear that talked about a lot from people who don't follow AEW. They'll often say like it's too hard to follow, or like there's too much going on, or like, you know, sometimes like something will happen and then like they won't see that, like there was no Malachi Black this week, and there were some people that were like, you know, how could you have this big storyline with him and Cody that neither of them are on the show the next week and blah blah. And it's like, because they don't have to be on every show every week, because the stories are so good and everybody's over and there's so much talent there that like you can afford to have certain people not on the show every week. We see Darby wrestle like once a month, you know, or a few times, maybe a couple times a month. He's the most over guy on the show outside of like the names you already knew from outside the company.
Right?
Like,
Or like Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy doesn't wrestle like as often as you would think, but man, is he over when he comes out.
exactly. I mean, it's a whole group of these guys. Like Hangman, there's people that are like, oh man, I mean, I can't believe Hangman's not getting the shot at All Out. He'll get his shot and he'll win the title. Like it will happen. Just let it. Like what. I'm not ironically saying let it all play out. Like in this company
Yeah.
actually do let it all play out because they've when it's played out it's been awesome.
Yeah, it has, and it's paid off. I feel satisfied at the end. You know what I mean? It's like I trust AEW to make things work.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, will we get a few misses every now and then? Sure. Will we have a dud explosion maybe every once in a blue moon, just a total fluke? Sure. That's going to happen. It might make it look stupid. Who cares? Like, you know, JR might accidentally call it the WWE one too many times, but at the end of the day, like, that doesn't change the in-ring work.
JR.
Yeah. It doesn't change the stories. It doesn't change the in-ring work. Like, you know, it's just is what it is at this point. Like, there's things about AEW I don't think are perfect. I don't love a 4-man commentary booth. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a little much.
I think Mark Henry looks super green at what he's doing right now. Like, I think he'll
Get there.
He'll probably get there. Like, he's really good on his radio show. So I
He's
have faith. But he, they threw him right in there.
Yeah, well, with him, I think the thing was is you have Jericho who is just like a hyper chihuahua, and then you have like a bulldog Mark Henry, you know.
Yeah. We'll see how he does. I think he'll because I'm actually I'm talking more so from like the when he's doing the interviews, like the backstage interviews and stuff.
Oh, okay.
He seems a little out of his element, but once again, they'll give him time on air, and they'll figure it out. You know, it is what it is. Like, there's a few little things here or there I change about AEW, but we're talking like 1 or 2% of the entire overall thing. Like, I'll take that all day, like unquestionably. George Hook mentioned you're gonna have situations like the Max Caster thing, or he means Max Caster, from time to time. Yeah, that's gonna happen for any company. There's gonna be damage control you're gonna have to deal with any company. Like that situation was handled poorly from the perspective of like nobody. Like for one, he shouldn't have said it, but for two, like the fact that it got through enough to get onto TV also or onto Dark is like a whole other thing too. Like they just need
That's some mismanagement and editing right there.
Yeah, they need to. And here's the thing: they made the mistake. They'll figure it out.
Well, Tony Khan said he's going to edit Dark himself now or be a part of it.
Yeah, and Max Caster is like, I mean, he's paying for it. Like he's lost indie bookings over it. It looks like he's going to be suspended from the company potentially for a short time or however long it takes. I mean, we saw how they handled the Sammy Guevara situation and stuff. Like we saw how they handled the Jimmy Havoc situation. I mean, like I think that they handle things appropriately from what we've seen so far. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But that's any company. You can't foresee that kind of stuff. But yeah. Anyway, the rest of the show, we're in agreement. Fuego de Sol obviously deserved the contract. That was a great moment. Miro looked great in the win. It accomplished literally everything they needed to accomplish with that. And this is all happening within a 1-hour show, by the way, y'all. So we just got that incredible opening match for the title with the title change. We had all that play out in the middle of the show. And then the main event. And also, we did see at one point, we saw Darby and Sting standing up in the rafters, which I marked out.
Oh, yeah, the best in the world thing they kind of teased.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, like...
It's happening.
They AEW is not in the kind of position where they want to be, like... let me put it this way. If CM Punk doesn't show up, then, like... They're gonna take a lot of shit for it.
Yeah.
Because I know, but so that's we're most likely getting next week, which is gonna be insane. On an hour-long show, I'd carve out half that show for CM Punk in the ring because
I mean my God, the cheers are gonna last an hour. I feel bad for the 2 hours of AEW Dark that are gonna be taped.
Yeah, for real. Oh my God, that's gonna be a hell of a moment next week.
Awesome.
Speaking of hell of a moment, for this week, we had the main event, Britt Baker in her hometown, Britsburg, Pennsylvania, over Red Velvet. Yeah, I thought this was good. Like, I don't think it was like the best match I've ever seen, but it was good for what it was, and they really played up like Britt's injury, which played into it as well. One criticism, the only criticism I'll give is Red Velvet. Apparently, I don't know how I've missed this, or if they just said it for the first time last night, but she was going for her finisher, which I heard them call the final slice.
Oh no!
That's so lame. I'm sorry. Like, your Red Velvet, your music's called the final
The
slice.
final
Like,
slice.
that's
I
kind of
automatically went.
lame.
Is it bad that I automatically went to pizza cutter?
Right. But I don't know. Nothing
Icing
against
on the
her.
cake.
I
That
just
would be better.
yeah,
Icing on.
that actually would be way better. But like they're like, she's going for the final slice, and I was like, oh, it's kind of weak.
I mean, yeah, it's a little too much Red Velvet cake references for me.
But but like, she shows a lot of potential still. She's
Yes,
still
she does.
learning, but she's learning on the job very, very well. And you had to have Britt win here, obviously. It was really cool visually to
In
see
her
all the
home
towels.
Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Matt from Wrestle Rumble was actually there live, and he said, like, he asked me this morning how it came across on TV, because he was like, dude, that place was loud as hell. And I was like,
I
yeah.
bet it was.
She was like, yeah, but it came across that way on TV as well. Like,
Yeah, sure. It translates. That crowd. That crowd was hot all night.
yeah. And that's that's one definite advantage also of having a 1 hour show versus like a 3 hour show, is you can keep that crowd. You can keep that crowd for an hour easy with the kind of stuff they're going to be putting on the show. The CM Punk, literally, that crowd's going to be chanting CM Punk from the opening, from the time that show starts until the end of that show, probably. Like, even if, because they'll probably hold off Punk till like I said, I'd probably give him a full half hour at the end of the show. I'd have like one big match, like, to start the show off, and people are going to already be CM Punk. So I feel kind of bad whoever he's even. And it won't be a disrespect thing for the first time in like forever. There might be other people wrestling during CM Punk chants, but it has nothing to do with like mocking the people in the ring. These fans are just going to be ready for this. You know what I mean? Like, this is an event that we're about to be experiencing.
Yes.
So like,
Issa, my angel, you guys, Issa did a very, very kind thing for me. And I just want to let her know how much it meant to me. Like, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy, and it made me feel so seen and heard in a moment where I felt silenced. And I just want to thank you, Issa, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. That really did mean a lot to me. So Issa is a literal angel on earth, and I love her so much. I just had to say that.
Yes, that was very nice. And also, I told you before the show, Jessi, but I got I had essentially like a coupon pretty much for a magnet at CVS, like for them to just like print up like a fridge magnet, and I'm sending it to Jessi. It's the picture of Lil Roman watching our stream from a while back. So Lil Roman spreading some joy through magnets, and Issa, obviously, we appreciate you a lot. And that's awesome that she was able to, that's cool when you hear about that stuff, like, in real life. It isn't just, like, like, internet stuff. It's, like, somebody, like, in real life reached out and, like, sent you something that meant something to you, I mean, I forgot to mention on the show, Jessi sent me, I've talked about it on Twitter, but not here. Jessi mailed me a box of Cookies and Cream Sarasota cookies.
Yes.
So, thank you, Jessi. I didn't thank you on the show for that.
You want them.
So, they were good, by the way. I'd recommend them. I really liked the birthday cake type one. It's really, really good.
Justin Fields is on the field, finally.
There you go.
They had Andy Dalton out there for the first quarter. It's like, what? Anyways, but yes, Issa, you are so sweet. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to get that out there.
No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad that you did. And that's pretty much all I had anyways. Like, next week, that's pretty much the big sell for AEW Rampage next Friday. Is, I mean, if you're a wrestling if you're a wrestling fan, you're not watching this. I don't know what you're doing. I mean, even if you hate if you hate WWE, if you hate AEW, if you don't watch any of this stuff, but if you have any opinion at all on pro wrestling, I'd recommend watching on Friday, because I think that they're going to give CM Punk a microphone, and it's going to be really interesting to hear what he has to say, because he has not. I mean, he did the MMA thing. I've been very vocal about my thoughts on that. I mean, it just was what it was, but I can look past his MMA career and still get excited for him being back in the world of pro wrestling, especially because it's been so long and it's this company that I love so much. So, like, me and some fans might have differing opinions on, like, what I think his in-ring style should look like and stuff, but I also know I'm in the minority of fans that, like, pay super close attention to that kind of stuff to begin with. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
So that said, I wanted to throw that out there because I have been critical of CM Punk over the last few years because of the MMA stuff. But I will say, at this point, I am super, super stoked to see him back in wrestling, and I'm super stoked to hear him talk about wrestling, because, you know, he just hasn't really talked much about. He hasn't talked hardly at all about the WWE situation outside of the Cabana podcast. We have no idea what his current relationship actually is with Colt Cabana, and now they're in the same company.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
You have, obviously, his thoughts on AEW, and all. I'm not saying he's going to say all these things in, like, one promo, but, I mean, these are all questions and stuff, I think, that will be answered now that he's going to be back in the fold. And, obviously, you know, he's a guy who really kind of distanced himself from wrestling for a while. Like, it sounded like when people wanted to talk about wrestling, he had no interest, but something has changed there, whether it be the money, which is totally possible, or I think it's a combination of AEW's probably giving him a lot of money, which is like, you just can't say no to, but on top of that, he sees the product and he's like, man, these are the guys I was talking about when I was cutting pipe bomb promos. Like, these are the wrestlers in the generation of guys that I was fighting for, and now they are on top, doing their own thing in their own company. Like, if there was ever a time for me to be a part of this again, like, now's the time. So
yeah,
yeah,
I completely agree, and I think it did take a change in the scheme of the wrestling landscape.
Yes.
For him to open up to returning.
Yeah, we welcome you back with open arms, CM Punk. Come back to wrestling, do your thing. I'm looking forward to it, and then of course. I mean, and if we also get Bryan Danielson, which is like pretty much a lock at this point too, it seems like, oh my god, this is gonna get fun.
It's gonna be so much fun. Issa with the super chat. Thank you so much, Issa. She says, happy to call myself an AEW fan. I have been enjoying the shows. Rampage was perfection. Reactions are up on my channel. Girl, okay, everyone needs to go subscribe to Issa, because talk about dedication. Every night before wrestling, she does a pregame, a pre-stream, and then she films her reactions to the shows, and they are fantastic. She is definitely worth a subscription and a follow on Twitter, by the way, because she's fabulous on Twitter. And we love her. Go subscribe to Issa, please. She deserves it.
Yes. Always a friend of the show.
Always.
And I'm really happy that you're watching AEW. I am. I'm happy that all these people, you know, it's something I feel like you need to stress it often. Like, I've never once come on any show ever, including this show right here, and ever told anybody, don't watch WWE Raw. I've never said it, and I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? I think there's room to like Raw, and to like AEW, and to like New Japan, and to like Impact, and blah, blah, blah. But if there are shows that you don't like, that you feel like you're just kind of wasting your time watching week after week, there's a lot of options now. A lot of options. So if you're a fan of pro wrestling, this is the best time ever. It's totally fine to not watch Raw, but watch SmackDown. It's totally fine to watch AEW, but not watch NXT or whatever. Or you can watch all of it. Like, pick the things that you enjoy watching, and, like, spend your time and energy on that stuff. Now it's a different story if you're like a Sean Ross Sapp type dude, right? Because, like, your actual job is to watch these shows and review these shows. Like, no matter what, like, that's what you got to do. But most people, we're talking 99% of the people that complain about certain wrestling shows, you don't have to be watching the show. Like, you don't. Like, if you want to keep watching wrestling, there's so much out there. So much. So find wrestling you like. Keep expanding your horizons on this stuff.
Keep shopping. There are so many different options now when you shop.
So, yeah, I mean, geez, go watch some GCW. Go watch anything on Fight TV. Go watch anything on IndependentWrestling.tv. Use code Fight Talk when you do it. I mean, there's literally hundreds of options at this point. I know that sounds like it's a lot. There are hundreds of independent promotions out there right now. A lot of them are congregated onto IWTV, or there you can see their shows on Fight TV. You have endless amount of ways to watch wrestling. You have YouTube and Twitch and a whole bunch of different ways, networks and certain streaming apps and all this stuff. It's so accessible. So this isn't obviously specifically like targeted at Issa. It just reminded me to just kind of throw that out there because I'm assuming Issa was probably a very, very strong WWE fan, as all of us are. You know, at heart, I'm a WWF fan for life. It's just I don't like the current product, so I just don't really watch it. But at a certain point, too, it's like if you're not really liking what you're seeing there, check something else out. And you might wind up really liking it. I mean, if the independents hadn't have been so strong the last, 5 years or so, I don't know where I'd be at as a wrestling fan, because I was a foot out the door on the WWE for a while. NXT kind of held me on for a minute, but then like New Japan like really blew up again, and like Ring of Honor really blew up again. It was like, okay, I can still be a wrestling fan. Like I don't have to limit myself. You know what I mean? Like it's a great time right now to be a wrestling fan. It really is.
It really is, and I express, watch with an open mind. It's at the end of the day, it's all about what we want to enjoy as fans. It's not your job. You don't have to put yourself through torture. Find something that brings you joy. It may not bring someone else joy, but that's not your problem.
Exactly. That's very well said, because that's a big part of it too. Is I think like people will go on and complain about something like they should have done this or they should have done it, but it's like, okay, but that's like a lot of other people liked it though. Like even I saw literally one thing from Monday Night Raw this week. One thing. It was about a 2-minute clip, and I only watched it because it was all over my timeline and I couldn't miss it. It was the Lily winking thing.
Oh god, that was awful.
I agree, but I can also look at it from the perspective of like if I was 6 years old, this might be good. Like there's probably a lot of little kids that are buying Lily dolls if they're available, and there's probably a lot of people that buy Alexa Bliss merchandise, and like and I think there's a lot of really old people like they're like these kids' grandparents that are probably into it, or they like watching it with their kids, or they've always watched the WWE, so they're in a routine of where they'll always watch that on Mondays because that's just what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all completely fine. Like the thing for me is like they've squeezed me out as a fan because they don't cater to my demographic anymore, but I can look at it objectively and be like, yeah, but like that's also why I don't go on, that's also why I don't watch Raw for 3 hours and tweet about it for 3 hours, because like it isn't for me anymore. It just isn't. It's fine. It's a show and a company that's just changed a lot, and it just is what it is. But like because like when I got into wrestling, I was 6 years old. It was 1994. The storyline that really drew me in was the Dungeon of Doom versus Hulk Hogan, which is critically panned as like one of the worst storylines in the history of wrestling.
But that brought you in.
As a 6-year-old, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
So like that's where I'm at with all this, is like just understand what you're watching and don't complain about it. Like if you don't like it, there's something else you will like. Or at a certain point, you might not like pro wrestling anymore. You might want to find something else to. I'm lucky because like I've got MMA, I've got pro football. You know what I mean? Like there's other stuff where I can be like, oh, wrestling isn't very good right now. I'll just watch this instead. But like
I'm conflicted when football starts up.
Well, it's an easy choice for me with Raw. I'm gonna watch Monday Night Football for sure. But if Raw got better, I mean. And that's the thing, right? I'm not saying don't watch the show. I think that there are things they could do for Monday Night Raw that could draw me in again, potentially. But it's a pretty long list, and I think it's going to take a while to to do that if they do it at all. But at a certain point too, it's like, do they even have the, like, if they're making the money they want to make, and they're gonna have a never-ending audience of kids regardless, which is the play. It's like, which is smart business from a sense. Like, there's always gonna be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 year old kids. It's never gonna end. You're always gonna have that influx coming in. If you're okay with losing them once they become teenagers to other stuff, that's totally fine if that's what your plan is. So if they want to stick with that and they're happy and they're making the money they want to make and they've done the TV deals they want to do and that's just, they're happy with that being the show, like, I'm out, but a lot of people will like it. If they want to cater towards me again, I might start watching again. I mean, it's really that simple.
You have an open mind, like I said.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a pretty reasonable take. You know what I mean? Like, no one's got a gun to my head forcing me to watch WWE. Like,
it's not fitting your vibe right now, and if the vibe changes, you'll be back.
Yeah, for sure.
It's that fucking deep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's plenty of companies, trust me. Like, here's a good example. Like, I probably wouldn't watch National Wrestling Alliance weekly if I didn't cover it for Fightful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I also don't sit there and complain about the show while it's on. I complain about it a little bit on my podcast, but it's just my opinion, and I'm actually getting paid to give that opinion. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's totally different than, like, just being angry at something and, like, not shutting up about it. You know what I mean? Like, George said the Dungeon of Doom ruled. I'm glad you agree, George.
There you go. See, you're not alone.
Yes. I got a Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan action figure in my room and his autograph actually over here, to always remind me of the days of the Dungeon of Doom.
Oh, that's so wholesome.
Yeah. Well, Jess, you got any other thoughts on AEW Rampage or anything else going on in the world of wrestling before we log off of here?
I'm really excited for next week for AEW. I feel like what they'll do is they may do like an initial swerve with the CM Punk thing, like the heels, like the Elite come out or something, but then eventually CM Punk shows up. Or maybe they'll just do it. I don't know. But I do want to say, you know what I totally forgot? And this is like kind of important about NXT.
Sure.
NXT was on fire when it was an hour. Remember? It was only an hour?
Yep.
So, like, I don't know. I think the downfall of NXT was going to 2 hours.
Well, I mean, I think the downfall was them going head to head with AEW, but
that too.
But I do agree that it was a better show at 1 hour, though. That's actually a really, really good point to bring up because they would pack a lot into that hour, but everything in that hour felt like it really, really mattered.
Mattered, exactly. So I have a feeling Rampage is going to be really fun. It's going to be taped, though, most of the time, they said. They're going to tape it after Dynamite, so that'll be interesting. But I guess Tony Khan said they're going to do it live for, like, go-home shows or something. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it'll be interesting to see. But I really, really enjoyed Rampage. I thought it was a lot of fun. And for me, it's important, especially at 10 o'clock when it is like hustle bustle time here in my house with the baby, to be able to keep my attention for even just an hour at 10 o'clock is a big deal. And they did it really well. So I think that speaks volumes to what they've done. And shout out to AEW for doing that. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. What else happened this week?
Trying to think of like some I hadn't seen Impact yet this week because we can't watch it on the Twitch stream anymore.
What?
Yeah, it isn't just Fightful, it's
Congratulations to Fightful for becoming the most subscribed Patreon wrestling thing, by the way. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm happy to be a part of that for sure.
Yes, you are definitely a huge part of that. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, the biggest draw is obviously Sean's news. I mean, like, because he's literally the it's wild because it's like a guy I've known for a while, you know. But it's like he's literally the top newsbreaker in all of wrestling, which is just incredible. It's cool to be able to call that guy a friend. It's like, yeah, this guy I know is literally the best of the world at like this thing that I've been looking
That's
at
my
forever.
friend.
Yeah, it really is cool. And so that's obviously the main draw, I think, over to Fightful Select. And then Alex Pulaski's got his big following over there with the Sour Graps Pod. And I've been able to, do my thing with the Weekender podcast, as people seem to enjoy it. And I really like that I get to talk about indie wrestling.
And Twitch.
Yeah, and the Twitch, the Twitch is fun. Me and Joel will keep that going. We watched some Wrestling Society X this past week on there, because Impact has now switched to YouTube. So they won't allow anyone to watch it on Twitch now.
Boo.
So we're getting things figured out to watch other programming on the Fightful Twitch. And then I do the post shows and the watch alongs for like the UFC and whatnot. So yeah, it's fun to be involved over there at Fightful. But like specifically for Fightful Select, yeah, that's where you'd find the Weekender podcast for anyone who wants to listen to me deep dive on the world of indie wrestling every Sunday. So
Yeah.
yes.
Hey,
Sorry, what's that?
Kogan just showed up.
Oh, Kogan, what up? I just saw his message just pop up there. What up, Kogan? Good to see you. You caught us kind of right at the tail end of the show, but you can always catch the replay if anything that you missed that you wanted to hear us talk about. But me and Jessi both really enjoyed Rampage. Very much both looking forward to the show next week, for obvious reasons of the CM Punk variety.
Oh.
Jessi just sent me a message. There's our list. I'm going to pull up the list here in just a second for y'all. We're giving away a free entry to the belt giveaway, the belt raffle for WrestleRumble.com. This is the contest here. And once again, rest in peace to Brad, who made this graphic.
Yes. Oh man.
Yeah, that's just a bummer. I'll get this pulled up. I'm gonna have to pull it off the screen for just a second to get it set up. So sorry, y'all. Jessi, you know what? If you want to give them the whole spiel on the thumbs ups and stuff, I'll get the raffle and everything ready.
Obviously, we love our chat. George, thank you so much for being a huge part of the chat today. We love our chat. We appreciate you guys. You always give us nuggets of information. You guys are always so great in your discussions and kindful and respectful. And that's all we want at the end of the day, is just to have fun and talk wrestling. If you'd like more like-minded people in the chat, we sure would. Give this video a thumbs up and do please consider subscribing to the channel. That way you'll get notified when we go live. And also when you like it and engage with it, YouTube recommends this video to other like-minded viewers like yourselves that are super cool and chill, and we appreciate it. So yeah, if you could give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment down below when it's streaming or when we're done streaming. Engage in the chat. We will really, really, really appreciate it. And we always appreciate you guys.
Yes, you nailed that. And unfortunately, I can't find the stupid website.
Just go like randompicker.com or something like that.
And I put in random picker and it keeps pulling up like wheel options. I think I might have found it. Yeah, this is one we always use. I got it.
I'll do my plugs really quick. Subscribe to my OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Jessi the Buckeye. Follow me on Twitter, at Jessi the Buckeye. Use my code for Papa John's Pizza. Football season's coming up. There's preseason football on right now. If you want some Papa John's Pizza, use the code JESSI25 at checkout online for 25% off. Heck yeah.
I'm gonna pull you up. Sorry, I should have got this all prepared beforehand.
Don't worry about it. You're good.
Here is Jessi's info. Not info. Your social media. So got that up on the screen for y'all. So make sure to follow her once again on Twitter at Jessi the Buckeye, and her OnlyFans link is. I always make sure I don't accidentally click it, but it's right there. Okay. Well, there's the OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Jessi the Buckeye. Here is our name generator. I threw Kogan on there. since he's on the show often. I see him in the chat. So the name that we're going to pull from here is just going to be a random name I'm going to hit when I hit this button. The winner is going to get a free entry for the Winged Eagle. I have such a hard time saying that. Winged Eagle championship belt giveaway. Someone's going to wind up winning 3 full-size replica Winged Eagle championship belts. Someone's going to win 3 mini championship belts. And the minis are cool because they don't take up a lot of display space. So I like both options of these a lot. So I hope I win. But y'all might win. And this is the person getting a free entry from us. We've already given one away to Corey Hummel for his birthday. And we've got Corey again.
Oh, nice.
So actually, yeah, we'll do that. Double birthday prize.
Good luck, Deshaun.
Wait, what did you say?
Deshaun said, "Pick me, please."
Yeah. Well, we got Corey twice.
Mhm.
So, Deshaun, we appreciate you though, man. We do. And luckily, it's only $1 to enter. Like this isn't like the normal like giveaway that are normally like $10. These are just the $1. So yeah, if y'all want to do that, we appreciate that. You know, going over to WrestleRumble.com. Corey's gonna get 2 for his birthday, which we should all be happy for Corey. 2 for his birthday, and now he has a shot at winning it all because there's gonna be 2 winners. So
True.
that'd be pretty wild if Corey somehow won all that stuff. That'd be a hell of a birthday. Deshaun says rigged, LOL. y'all know us by now. We do it by the books.
By the books.
Yes.
This outer band from Fred coming through.
What's that?
The weather outside. There's that tropical storm way out there. It was gonna hit us, but now it's gonna be way out west. I'm wondering because this weather looks weird. It looks like it's gonna snow. Obviously, it's not going to. I'm wondering if it's an outer band from Fred. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope you don't know. That'd be weird.
Yeah, I know. Like we've said before, sponsor of the show, of course, WrestleRumble.com. Make sure to jump on their website, WrestleRumble.com, and make sure to follow them on all social media at WrestleRumble. The SummerSlam Pick'em contest should be opening any day, so we will be giving away entries for that on me and Jessi's show next week. We'll throw some predictions out there for you, and we will give you some free entries next week for watching the show. And yeah, just the other sponsors, of course, WrestleRumble.com, who I've talked about. We have Music City Toys and Collectibles. Make sure to follow them on all social media at MusicCityToys.com. I think they have a virtual signing going on soon with Alicia Toot and some like wrestling women. I think that might be even today. So jump on there. I just don't have time to pull it up on the screen without showing you all my personal information, which I don't want to do right now. But just jump on there, MusicCityToys.biz for the website, Music City Toys for all social media, and support them. Also, my brother Brian Jensen, hit him up on Instagram, BoxingATL, BoxingATL. He'll help you reach your goals. He can help you lose weight, get in better shape, learn self-defense, compete at an amateur or pro level at any combat sport. He can also help you if you got any kind of neurological stuff going on. You have MS, Parkinson's, anything like that. Brian's certified. He can help you in person in the Atlanta, Georgia area at his gym, or he can meet you in person wherever you're at, or he can help you online anywhere in the world. Once again, just follow him and hit him up on Instagram at BoxingATL, BoxingATL. And once again, dedicated this show to the memory of Brad Pedersen, wrestling fan, friend of the show, and a friend of WrestleRumble.com. So, yeah, that's it from me today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, hopefully everybody has a good day and good weekend, and be safe. Hug your loved ones. Your life is precious. And yeah, we'll see you next time, everyone.
Yep. See you next week.